this is Jared. This is just a little quick blurb on my advertisements. I have iHerb, Remedylink. I have direct support for my Red Circle, which is my new host. As well as for every episode, I'll try to include relevant affiliate links, as well as my coaching as well. Please check them out. There's no obligation to donate or click or anything, but they really help support this podcast, and I'd really appreciate that. Hey everyone, this is Jared. This is our obligatory sponsorship audio blurb. This is just to tell people that I use Anchor. It's an awesome app. You can use it on, I believe, iPhone, Android, or your computer, and it's all connected, your account. It's very easy to do. You can make money from it, and there's no minimums. There's nothing to sign up for or pay for. And it automatically distributes it to a bunch of different platforms as well, too. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a lot more. The app is available on the iTunes Store, Android, and you can also go to the website, which is anchor.fm, to get started. Hey everyone, I'm doing an episode on EMFs. Just because this is kind of something that I've been looking into, I may do future episodes kind of elaborating and going further in depth. I actually had someone comment who seems like he knows quite a bit about this on my YouTube channel. So I'm trying to see if I can get him on. If not, I know of a few other people, and also I've just been doing my own research and also kind of, I guess, my own experimentation. So grounding and earthing has been around for some time. I've heard of it, and I haven't done it consistently, like on a daily basis. EMFs as far as filtering and stuff like that, I have been looking into that. As far as EMFs go, they're electromagnetic frequencies. They're emitted by a lot of different things, especially, I think, primarily in, for the most part, wireless devices. The thing is that the regulations and the science is kind of behind a little bit, and there's actually been an increasing amount of science showing that EMFs, especially exposure to it at night, can affect sleep. It can cause headaches, insomnia, all these different kinds of problems. And there's a number of different things you can do. I think about everyone is affected health-wise. Some are very sensitive. Some may not even notice at all until they start doing this stuff for a while. But I think, even if you have health issues or you just want to improve your health, it'll be worth just to look into these things and try them out. I did get 2 EMF filters, and I know I bought them through Bulletproof. I honestly don't know how effective they are. I don't really know much about the science of them. I'm thinking they are some kind of, I want to say metal kind of grounding material that kind of absorbs EMFs. But I don't really know much about them. And they are fairly cheap, so these are something that you can do. This isn't like the only thing I'll do, though. There's a lot more to it. As far as EMFs go, the ones that you want to kind of look at for the most part are anything that's wireless, especially in your household and especially at night. These would be smart meters, which are typically on the outside of a house, especially newer ones. They emit a lot of EMFs. Routers, especially wireless ones, that put out wireless. There are also other portable devices such as CPAPs, Bluetooth, smart devices, anything that connects via Bluetooth and or wireless likely gives off plenty of EMFs. And there's a few things you can do to kind of lessen the impact of these. For instance, for your cell phones, you can at night either turn it off or put on airplane mode, and it's even suggested that if you have it on your body, unless absolutely necessary, to put on airplane mode, when you're talking, don't put it up right to your head. cell phone, EMFs have been connected to cancer and all these other kinds of things. You can do certain things. You can sort of build a do-it-yourself Faraday cage. And these are fairly simple, but you do have to keep it kind of seal it, and you have to make it tight. And you can use these kind of ground in a number of different ways, and you basically need to, you can make a sheet, you can make a kind of box, you can do different things, but you need to alternate layers of conductive materials and non-conductive materials. Conductive materials are typically primarily metals. The cheapest and probably most widely available one being aluminum. Non-conductive materials, generally either rubber or plastic, so you could use, you could even use like plastic wrap or anything like that. And so you alternate it, and you can kind of put stuff in it, and you wrap it around it, and you can kind of block out the EMFs. You could make kind of like I want to say sleeping bag, or something you can kind of sleep in or sleep on. It does kind of need to cover the area to really provide the EMF protection. You can do these with CPAP machines. You can do this with cell phones. A number of other things. Even though it is cheap, I would prefer to kind of go around another route. I did find a material, and I believe it's interwoven, I believe, with copper threads and a few other things. And I've heard good things about this. And you can get it in a wide sheet, and you can use it as a bed sheet. You can use it to kind of cover things to cancel out the EMFs. You can even use it as a bed sheet and then connect it to a grounding plug, and you can do earthing or actually grounding that way as well too. But there are certain things, like you could even get like an aluminum sheet. I wouldn't use like the aluminum foil you buy at stores. I would get maybe like a thin aluminum sheet, and I've known some people that have put them like underneath their mattress, and done several other things. So you can kind of experiment and see what works for you. As far as earthing and grounding goes, there are grounding blankets and stuff like that. I think the cheapest option, and what I'm probably going to do, is get the fabric I mentioned, which I'll include a link in the description, and likely just to use that as kind of my sheets to sleep with, but also to connect at least one, maybe two, to a grounding plug. That way at night I can get the benefits of grounding. This basically kind of recharges your internal battery, your nervous system, because for several different things, deplete it over time, and especially with modern living and technology and everything like that. And I think a lot of our, internal batteries are kind of broken. They're kind of similar to car batteries. There's a lot of crystals and crystallization, and I think the only way that you can really ultimately do it is a machine I've heard of, which is kind of like an electron generator machine which pulses. The thing though is that it's fairly expensive, especially for the average person. If you're a practitioner or some kind of clinic, or if you have a lot of extra money, it would be worthwhile. I'm looking into maybe trying to either create or make maybe a cheaper version of it at some time. But the most important time to turn off or turn down and try and limit EMF exposure is at night. And how you can do this is turning your cell phone off, turning it on airplane mode, turning off smart devices. These can be Alexas, Google Assistants. That was my Alexa, by the way. And you can do two different things with, you can do a few different things with the router. What I do is I turn it down as much as possible, the power consumption, so it reduces it quite a bit. Unfortunately, I'm not able to turn it off completely, but you can turn it off completely. You can even set it up on a timer so it'll automatically turn off at night, and then come back on like in the morning or something. And this will really help with sleep. I've noticed when I had kind of a bad bout of insomnia, I did this and I was able to get a little bit better sleep, because my sleep still has quite a ways to go, at least quality wise. And I was able to fall asleep quicker and easier. and I can get really bad insomnia where it will take several hours for me to fall asleep. So yeah, some other things you can do is I believe shungite. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's I believe the best quality one you can find is type 2, and the more pure it is. And I've heard you can even kind of use it as kind of to kind of make water with it, like healing water as well too. I'm mostly in it to kind of absorb EMFs, so I may get some, especially in my bedroom, because I've been trying to limit EMFs as much as possible, but I'll probably get some shungite eventually. You can get it fairly inexpensive if you look around as well too, and you can get all kinds of shapes. You can get it in necklaces. You can probably use it in a wristband and all kinds of different jewelry. But yeah, that's as far as like what I know on EMFs. There's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more you can do. I don't have to worry about it as much where I live, because I live kind of in a remote rural area. So there's not as much exposure, but I do know there is some high voltage power lines not too far from me, actually. I would say within maybe half a mile or so. I don't think there are any really cell towers nearby, which also emit EMFs. If you live in the city or somewhere you're likely bombarded by EMFs a lot, and I imagine that it would be probably pretty difficult, especially because I know sometimes there's citywide just routers or wireless routers, cell phone towers, wireless routers like in your home or apartment, but all around you at businesses, and so you're likely being bombarded with them as well too. So as far as like everyday exposure, like daily exposure, I would try to limit that as well too. I'm thinking a shungite kind of a necklace or wristband would help. I don't know of any clothing. I think if I remember correctly, there was some clothing being developed that was kind of grounding or earthing, and or grounding. And speaking of grounding is another way to basically kind of recharge your batteries. It's kind of like not as intense as saying like using an electron generator, but it's free and it's pretty easy to do. You basically need to have bare contact with dirt, grass, or sand with your feet, and this is up to about 40 minutes a day. I believe it also helps with kind of adrenal fatigue in general, sleep. There are some shoes, I haven't used them, shoes and I think soles you can get that are kind of earthing on their own, because they have conductive I believe copper and other materials kind of woven into them, so it kind of absorbs and goes through your feet. Those are kind of spendy though, so and it is, I know, difficult if you kind of live in the city or depending on where you live, but there's generally somewhere that you could probably go and get this, or get some grounding exposure. But yeah, so this is about all I have to offer on grounding and EMFs. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll include, all the sponsorships and links below. I will include a link to that fabric just because it looks really promising, and I believe I even went on an EMF website and a few other ones, and they recommended it, and I've heard a lot of good things even on the reviews, and it is an Amazon product as well too. But yeah, I'll see you all later, and I'll see you on the next episode.